Thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad you came back to hear this story. Just a few weeks ago, we had had snow for a few days in a row, so there was quite a bit of snow on the ground, on the roads, on the sidewalks. I was on my way home one afternoon from work. Up ahead on the right, I thought I saw something on the sidewalk, and I just thought, maybe a big backpack or something. But as I got closer, I could see that it looked like a person. And I thought, oh no. And as I even got closer where I could look to the right to see, but the snowbanks were high, and the what I saw was kind of in the snow, so it was hard to really tell what. But as I got up on it and I looked right, because I'm driving, it really looked like a person, like a body. And as I'm driving, it's like, oh no. So then, there's traffic coming and going, and I thought, is that a person? And I had to stop. Nobody stopped. But as I drive, it's like, I have to stop. I have to do something. So it wasn't safe to just stop in the middle of the road. And so I went down a little bit until I could turn right onto another street to turn around. As I did that, as I turned on that street, I said, God, I am scared, because I really didn't want to see a maybe dead body or a mangled body. I'm a female, right? And so, but I knew, and I said, I have to go back. I have to. So I turned around and I'm heading back now in that direction. And as I get a little closer, I can see a person with a coat, and they're like walking. And I thought, oh, this person got up. Now they're walking. But as I got closer, that was not the case. It was a young man walking toward the person who was on the ground in the snow. By the time I got to the middle left turning lane in that on the street there, the young man had gotten to the person who was in the snow. So I yelled out my window, is it a person? And he nodded his head, yes. Is he alive? He nodded his head, yes. This young man had his phone and he was talking to someone. And then I said, did someone call 911? And he nodded, yes. I sat there in my car and waited as the young man stood there waiting as well. The person on the ground, they lifted their head a little so I could see a little bit of a face, but I couldn't make out the face. But there was a face, it was a man, and he was kind of saying something, maybe kind of mumbling or murmuring. And he would kind of hold his head up and say something and go back down. And I just sat there, and the young man was waiting. And the young man, I had noticed too in my rear view mirror that there was another car that had stopped, and this young man was in that car with a female. I'm thinking his mother or his girlfriend or sister, and they were the ones who had she had called the 911. So we're waiting, and it didn't take long. Within 5 minutes, we could hear the sirens coming, which was a relief. And then the fire truck showed up, and then of course cars began to stop because of traffic and all that. And I felt that I was maybe in the way, because I didn't want to be in the way when the ambulance came or anything. So I decided to pull off and go on about my business. So I actually had to do a big U-turn, turn right and turn right and turn right. And as I turned back on the main street, I could see that the firefighters were there. They were kneeling beside the person, talking to the person. And that gave me much relief. I shared this story with a friend, and she sent me an email later saying, I'm glad you stopped for the man in the snow. I'm glad others did too. It warms my heart to think that people respond to strangers, to humanity, with loving kindness. For me, this whole thing really goes back to those verses in Psalm 146. that we are the hands, we are the feet of Jesus. God loves people. God uses people to show that love. So that day as I was driving, I'm happy that I had to do something. I can no longer pass by. I can no longer be that old selfish person. And I hope you feel the same way. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. To God be the glory.